Hello everyone, today I would like to tell you 10 short conversation between two people, the man and the woman. And the woman said, the conversation one, the woman said to the man they were reviewed his cover letter and resume and decide that he were a good candidate for a position in their firm, and she wanted to know if he could come by for an interview last Friday. And the man was surprised, and the man agreed with her, and he replied to her that he was free all the day long, and he wanted to know what time he should come in and how long it would take. And the woman replied to him, the interview would be at 10 in the morning, and she commented it. And she commented it usually took 20 minutes, and she suggested calling back for a final interview that could be on Monday. And the man agreed with him, and he suggested seeing her Friday morning. Conversation 2. The woman wanted to know if the man know that old bakery down the street, because she had heard that it was going to be closing down soon. And the man replied to her that shop were out and operated by an elderly married couple, and he commented then it would be probably become a coffee shop chain. And the woman replied to him, it was a shame that it was so hard for small family-owned business to stay profitable those days, and she wished there had been something they could do. And the woman and the man replied to her, they could start a fundraiser for the bakery. And he wanted to know who know that, and maybe they could keep it open. Conversation 3. And the man said to the woman, Mr. Carriol, before he could prescribe her daughter and medication, he needed to know how long she had been showing symptoms. And the woman replied to him, she had start coughing a lot the day before morning, and by the afternoon she had been running a higher fever, and she wanted to know if it was serious. And the man thought she would be fine, because he thought a cold were common among children, especially at this time of year. And he suggested giving her some medicine to soothe the cough. And the woman replied to him she wasn't allergic to anything, and she commented at least not than she were aware of. Conversation 4. And the woman said to the man, the woman said hello to the man, and she said that she had come to ask him if he had time to talk about the design for the new logo that she had submitted the week before. And the man was sorry about that. However, he hadn't got any time right then, and because there was an important meeting he had to be at a few minutes. And he commented it would take all morning. And the woman was surprised by that, and she replied to him, she just wanted to know if he thought her design had been interesting, or if he wanted her to make any change. And the man suggested stopping by his office before she went home that evening, and he suggested talking about it then. Conversation 5. And the man said to the woman he was going to arrange a meeting to discuss the new office recycling policy. And the woman replied to him, she hadn't heard anything about that, and she wanted to know if they didn't already recycle. And the man agreed with her. However, he commented they were going to throw far too much copy paper, and he was afraid it was being wasted. And a number of people there were also neglecting to put used paper in recycle bin. And the woman thought that was probably true, and she commented if they told them to be more aware of the problem, and she thought they would start conserving more paper. Conversation 6. And the man said to the woman he had asked her to drop off those legal files at the courthouse that afternoon. However, he had never been there before, and he wanted to know if the woman knew the best way to get there. And the woman replied to him if he drove. It was pretty easy to find, and although traffic were potentially bad at that time of day, and she commented the downtown area was crowded and a lot of people were out on their lunch break. And the man thought maybe he could take the bus, the subway, or a bus, and he wanted to know the public transportation would get him there quickly. And the woman disagreed with him, and she commented there were $20 and suggested getting a cab. Conversation 7. And the woman said hello to the man, and she said that that's were Miranda Baylor from Oak Hill High School, and her son Peter was in her English class, and she was calling because she would like to meet with him sometime and talk about his academic performance. And the man replied to her he hadn't know there were a problem, and he wanted to know if he was doing poorly. And the woman disagreed with him because he was doing quite well, and she thought he might be eligible to enter an advanced program for gift students before she had recommended him, and she hid approval from his parents. And the man was surprised by that, and he thought that was great news. And he commented he would let his wife know that she had called, and they could call her back to schedule an appointment. Yeah. Conversation 8. And the man said to the woman he wanted to buy a space heater for the bedroom, and it would keep them warm in winter and reduce their power bills. And the woman didn't think there was enough room in the bedroom for a space heater, and she was worried it would the air too dry. And the man replied to her, not if they got a new model. They were making them much smaller those days, and they had already got the humidifier. And the woman replied to him, she guessed it were worth a try, and she sure hope he were right about the power bill, and they had been paying for too much ever since the weather became cold. Conversation 9. And the man said hello to the woman, and he said they had just received her shipment of limited edition Pocket Lion, and they had been extremely impressed with the craftsmanship, and they were very confident that the product would sell big in their store. So they were wondering if she could make another 20 units by May. And the women were very glad that he had been satisfied with their shipment. However, she commented 20 units by May was a very big order, and she didn't think they could have that ordered by May. And she thought they would need at least a month to have that ordered. And the man had been worried about that. However, he could assure that she would be very well compensated if she could have all 20 units done by May, and they would cover all shipping costs as well. And the woman thought that was a tempting offer, and if they shipped by air, that would take away a bit of the burden. However, she didn't think that would be enough, and she suggested contacting the factory and asked if they could outsource part of the contracts with another company, perhaps even hire more workers. And she suggested phoning her people and had an answer for him by Tuesday. Conversation 10. And the man got the woman's attention, and he wanted to know if he could tell her where to find mustard. And the woman replied to him, he could find mustard and the rest of the condiment in aisle 5, and she commented bun and bread were in aisle 10, and she commented if he was planning his summer cookout, be sure to check out their sale, and the butcher counters, hamburger patties were on sale. And the man wanted to know what about steak, and because his wife asked him to pick up some steaks for dinner, and he wanted to know if they were sale too. And the woman agreed with him, and she commented some brands of steak were on sale, and she suggested asking which ones where he got there. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.